So I want to go here really quick. Here's another. This is Tim's tweet. Thanks, Tim, for sharing this. So this picture went viral. This is Johnny Rotten, a.k.a. John Lydon, singer of the Sex Pistols. Wow. He's a big Trumper. And this picture went viral, and this person shared it first. This person, Connor, 10-year-old me is absolutely gutted that this is what his hero turned into. John Lydon about his punk as a game of golf. Big fucking poser, says Connor. And Tim said, ouch, this one's burned. So here's the thing. It's not new that John Lydon is a big right-winger. Like we've known this for years. He's been pro-Trump for a while now. It's just resurfaced because this picture of him went viral. I personally have never been a Pistols guy. I'm more of a Clash guy. I always have been. I always will be. I've never cared for the Sex Pistols. If you like the Sex Pistols music, and Pill, I've never understood. I have friends that have tried so hard to get me into Pill. They tried to get me to go to the Pill show the last time they played the Hollywood Bowl. I had no interest. They were like, why not? I was like, well, I don't enjoy their music. That's a big why not. I have no desire to see Johnny Rotten live. I don't care. I never really cared for the Sex Pistols. I thought they were basically just the monkeys of punk rock. I don't care. It's just not my cup of tea. I mean, they just are. That's what they were.
That's a take.
Well, that's what they were. I mean, that's what they were. They were created. They have a credit card, for crying out loud. You can get a Sex Pistols credit card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that happened years ago. So, some people like their sound, and that's great. But for me, it wasn't my cup of tea musically. Will always be a Clash guy in comparison. And so I just don't I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go see. My friend would keep sending me Pill songs. She would keep I was like, nothing's going to change. She's like, well, what about this one? I'm like, yeah, it's still,
if you don't like it, you don't like it.
I just don't get it. And maybe it's me. I don't know, but not my cup of tea. So John Lydon's Donald Trumpness does not surprise nor bother me. I'm just like, whatever, not surprised.
Who's Donald Trumpness surprised or bothered you? Like, was there anyone
I love that question. Are we talking music?
And you sure?
Well,
or even any celebrity, any sort of.
Well, I don't think
anyone. I don't know who's Donald.
No one surprised me. So yeah,
no one surprised you.
Kid Rock didn't surprise me. Kanye West didn't surprise me. No one surprised me. So I got nothing there. As far as musicians go, and I don't know if he's pro-Trump. I think he probably isn't, but I don't know for sure. But politically, the musician that I would say as of recent kind of hurts is Morrissey. Because
Morrissey has had bad politics for a long fucking time. Nobody is surprised by this.
But it's gotten to a very rough place. It's gotten to a very rough place. You're right, he has, and that's fair. But it's really.
I have friends who say Palestine is the litmus test because all of these motherfuckers have been ignoring the BDS call, don't give a shit about Palestine. That's the first time we see their bad politics emerge. And then they continue to display bad politics, and then the white people are surprised. And we're like, we fucking told you this 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Well, when it comes to Morrissey, call me surprised white guy. You can
color me surprised white guy.
I'm surprised white guy. But no, he's had some very questionable things that he said over the years.
Sketchy as fuck, dude. He's been sketchy for years.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt so many times. I'm like, no, he's just being metaphorical and he's not choosing his words carefully. But then now it's like, okay, yeah, but here's the thing. If you're gonna say, well, I'm just trying to enjoy the Smiths music. All right. Well, what about Johnny Marr? Johnny Marr, every bit as much the Smiths as Morrissey, every single bit. And he has really good politics. So
do you can't listen to any? Are you of the mindset that you can't participate in any culture if the person has problematic politics?
No, it just
taints it. It makes it
just taints it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not one of those people where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go burn my Smith CDs now or anything like that. Again, because you have to look at the entire band. So it's really unfair to just say. I
enjoy a Smiths song now and then when I feel like I want to lie down and cry about something.
See, I would argue the Smiths are very funny. There's another side to them.
There is a funniness going on. There is, yes, but it's also like terribly depressing and funny.
Some of it. Well, that could be a whole other episode.
That is a whole other episode that we are not going to.
No, I enjoy their music a lot, and I enjoy a lot of Morrissey solo stuff. I love, and it's funny. So friends of mine really wanted to go see him the last time he came to LA. I didn't want to go, and I was like, dude, he's said some crazy, ridiculous stuff. Right. I've looked at the set lists online. I'm that guy, Jennifer. I looked at some of the set lists online.
Like,
yes, okay. Of course I did.
You're like, is it worth it? Yes. Wow, you're really that into Morrissey. Okay.
And I was like, I can't, like, I wasn't impressed by the set list at all. But my friends really, really wanted to go. And you know, we'd had a few drinks and we were like, let's just grab a lift and let's just go. And, you know, they lived in the neighborhood of the Hollywood Bowl too. So they're like, we'll just go to our place. We can hear. I'm like, all right, let's go. Okay. They had never seen him before. I've seen him like 2 or 3 times. So I didn't care. But I was like, okay, I'm going to go with my friends, whatever. So we get there. People are leaving the show in droves. And so we stop somebody. And by the way, I had said before, and I literally said this, Jennifer, I kid you not, when they were trying to push for the Morrissey show and I wasn't that into the idea, I was like, guys, we should just all agree that when Johnny Marr comes to town, we're getting tickets day one. Because Johnny Marr, he like doesn't sell out a lot of places in the United States, but in Los Angeles, he sells out the second they go on sale. Probably because they know how good him and his band is here. But anyway. So I was like, let's just go see Johnny Marr. Half of Johnny Marr's set, at least half of it is all Smith songs anyway. I've seen Johnny Marr before, and it's he does a phenomenal job. He has no business singing, but when he's playing Smith songs, the entire audience is screaming at the top of their lungs every single note anyway. It doesn't matter who. They don't even need a singer. They could just play the music, and the audience just screams. So it's like, whatever. But we get to the Morrissey show. People are leaving in droves. Finally, we flag somebody down and we go, hey, why is everyone leaving? And they go, well, he's been playing like nothing old from Morrissey even. He's been playing no Smith songs. And at one point, he could tell the audience was a little not into it. So he just goes, if you want to hear Smith songs, go to a Johnny Marr show. And the audience just said, duly noted. And some of them left.
I mean... As a performer, though, I get it's this weird thing when people
understand
your old material all the time and you're like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, that's old. So I get that, but I feel like at some point you just have to succumb to the reality when you're like a famous person that's why people like you.
But he's always done a mix in the past. I mean, he's even celebrated it. He said, like, I like to play some Smith songs because those were beautiful songs. I'm proud of them and I enjoy it. And he would mix it up. He would play different Smith songs. So I think there's also a certain amount of he's just really angry about, you know, so many people that he's really turned off. Because, I mean, so much of, his political takes as of recent, which I would say have reached a new height of what the hell, dude.
Like, what has he done recently? I don't even know. I don't track anymore.
He's part of that very far right party in Britain that are just straight up nationalists.
Right.
They're just straight up nationalists. It's not, you know, and I know that, like, Brexit was not just a left-right issue. There were some complexities there that I don't know enough to speak to, but I know that they existed. But he went way beyond that. I mean, he went to, you know, just straight up nationalism. And he said some very incredibly racist things that you can't really sugarcoat. And it's just, it goes so against what the Smiths were all about and what he was all about for so long. I mean, especially here in Southern California where we live. I mean, he is so beloved by the Latino community here. So beloved. Yes. They love him.
Oh my God, yes.
and so for him to say these things, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I guess you like assume that performers and like artists and creative people are going to be left leaning because of just the sense of like, I feel like that's the general assumption. And then every time they're not, you're like, what the fuck? Like people are shocked by it. And so I don't know why, like, I just don't even care anymore. I'm like, yep, that person's a racist. Got it. Check. Done. And like, it's not that I don't like what, the cat is coming into the,
yes,
cat is, there will be multiple animals here today on the show. I mean, like, Kanye's lost his goddamn mind. Clearly, the man has serious mental problems, and like,
I don't
understand why nobody is like, that's a whole other situation. But I mean, but has anybody really cool been like a white nationalist or pro-Trump or super right-wing? I mean, Morrissey, I guess, was kind of cool in some senses, but like, it's not like these are
some
people
of us
that
enjoyed
like,
it.
but it's not. Oh, I'm being like mauled by many animals right now.
You know what? They're sticking up for Morrissey. They're like, hey, he's still got our back.
They're like, he's still
got our back. To answer your question, I would say Billy Corgan was a little bit of a surprise. Maybe.
Yeah.
Could we say Billy Corgan? I mean, I was surprised he was pro-Trump.
Yeah, that actually, yes. Yeah, that's pretty okay.
He's an insanely intelligent dude.
Yeah.
But or at least he comes across this way. I mean, he's a very smart guy, but when you hear him talk about Trump, it's kind of just, it's almost like he's trying to justify it to himself.
My God,
it's like, well, why do you want to support this guy?
Being overtaken.
This is beautiful. What's the cat's name?
Bianca.
Bianca, you're a beautiful cat with a beautiful, beautiful fur. That's a beautiful coat.
She's a tortie. Yeah, she's cute. I mean, both of my pets were like pets animals that were like abandoned that nobody wanted. And I'm
she's like, here's my coat and here's my asshole. What's up? Yeah. What's up? Get your news on with Ron.
She just wants to rub herself against the trees.
Love it. Does she behave towards the plants? Because my cat will eat all plants.
No, she loves to piss in them. That's one of her favorite.
Surprise.
She does. She likes to piss in the plants as well as the bathtub when she's like protesting her conditions.
Yeah, she's telling you she's mad.
Yeah, that's her. And then, then she also tries to eat some of the plants. But for the most part, she just rubs up against them unless she's like mad about something. And then she leaves behind the messages.
She might get a buzz from it, maybe.
Maybe, you think?
There's some plants. Well, I know that I think pine water can make cats drunk. Like it has the effect of like making them drunk. And because when I was a kid and we would have the Christmas tree, we would cut down the tree in Pennsylvania where I grew up. We'd go to this tree farm in Pennsylvania, cut down the tree, and we'd put it in this, like in like a stand or whatever, and we'd water it. And our cat growing up would always just drink all the pine water. And we looked it up, and like apparently it has like an effect. It can make them. Yeah, like it does something for them. It gives them like a drunk. So I don't know if like other plants can do that as well. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously catnip does, but
she loves the nip. She's a fan of the nip.
Oh, so does Lucy. Yeah, Lucy always gets the catnip, and it's a fun time. But I
actually tried to smoke catnip once.
Did you? Why?
In college, it was like a weird, like, let's just see what it does. And then we're like, it does nothing. Why are we smoking catnip out of a bong? This is bananas.
What you do is you give the catnip to your cat and you smoke something else, and then you have a special experience together.
It's like when you, all this weird urban legends, like you can get high off nutmeg and stuff. I feel like when you're like 17 and you're bored, you're always like, yeah, let's see if we can get high off nutmeg. I don't know. Was I the only person doing that?
No, you weren't. So there's this certain type of Italian licorice where if you eat too much of it and you're not used to it, you can get a buzz like you're stoned. And I actually didn't know this. But I took a big, like friends of ours went to Italy. They came back. They brought us this licorice, and I took a big chunk of it as if it was a Twizzler, and I ate it. And it was right before I had High School Musical practice, and I was really out of it. And all my friends thought I was high. They were like, Ron's high. And I just went along with that because I'm like, I'm not going to tell them it was licorice.
No.
and then later I found out online that was actually what it was. I just had too much licorice. Just really went too heavy on the licorice.
Yeah, you gotta keep your street cred on that.
I never fessed up that it was actually not. No. I was kind of stoned per se, but it was off of licorice.
Didn't some dude die from eating too much black licorice this week? I read an article about that.
Wow, now I feel terrible bringing up that story. Yeah, I didn't know that. Sorry. I did not know that, and I'm very sorry. I
read that somewhere, and I was like, God, I've been having all these black licorice cravings lately. Like, I'm like, what is this?
Well, if it's the Italian kind, be careful. If you get it from Italy, be careful.
Yeah,
it can make you stoned.
You think it's a death wish, but it's really you're just trying to fucking escape and get high. Who knew? Who knew?
So, did anyone surprise you? Were there any pro-Trump musicians who surprised you? I mean, I feel like Billy Corgan's all I got. I can't think of anyone else.
I mean, I don't really know who's pro. Like, no. I feel like nobody that I like is pro-Trump. Yeah, Billy Corgan, I didn't really even know.
Let me ask you a fun one. Is there someone where you just do not like their music, but you appreciate their politics, and you're like, okay, cool?
Huh.
Because I got one of those.
Who? They give me time. I don't know.
Dave Matthews.
Oh my God, Dave Matthews' music is terrible. Yes, he has.
I don't get it.
Politics.
I don't get it. Yeah, he does. And he's actually, I get the vibe, and I say this because I used to live in the same neighborhood.
What? Dave Matthews has good politics?
I would say, yeah, he did a lot for Bernie.
I have no idea. I don't even know.
He did a lot for Bernie. He's all about, he's been really outspoken for farmers and, like just our food culture. And yeah, I would say, at least what I know about, he has good politics. I mean, maybe there's some stuff I don't know about, but from what I know, like he has good politics. I mean, Kim Gordon has good politics, but I've always been a Sonic Youth fan, so I'm all about that. And I've read her book; she's phenomenal.
She's awesome.
Yeah, Kim Gordon's amazing. I think my musician ticket was Killer Mike, Kim Gordon.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whichever one's president, vice president. It doesn't matter, but that's my ticket. Yeah. Kim Gordon, Killer Mike.
We'll take it. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I feel like there are people who I like more. Now that they're like, when people are outspoken, I'm like, oh, now I like them more, like Mark Ruffalo or, people that I like was like, oh, they're kind of cool, but I never had a huge attachment to. But then when I like follow their politics online, I'm like, John Cusack's cool, pretty cool sometimes. Like, whereas like, I was like, who's John Cusack? That guy from the 80s. I don't care. Like, I mean, whatever, like I had no attachment.
Danny DeVito is really solid.
Wow.
Yeah, like Danny DeVito's pretty solid.
Damn, good for him.
I like Susan Sarandon. I think she's really solid. I like Susan Sarandon. Yeah, I know that's controversial.
That's so controversial.
So controversial to like Susan Sarandon because she's so powerful.
Right.
She's so powerful. She's about to throw the next election too. Yeah.
Single-handedly.
She's getting ready to throw the next one. She's gonna,
she's not saying shit. She's like, I'm staying out of this. There's
no way she hasn't.
She
hasn't stayed out of it, which I applaud her. Why should she stay out of it? I mean, I'm.
I don't know why. Yeah, why they think Susan Sarandon is the all-powerful Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, I mean, and she's so yeah. And who else do I think has pretty good? I mean, there's probably a bunch of people I'm forgetting that I'll remember like the second we log off of this thing. Yeah. But But yeah, I would say the one where it's like, I don't care for his music at all, but I appreciate his politics is Dave Matthews. That's someone that comes to mind for me.
I mean, I would say that is a big, I can concur on both. If you're telling me that he has good politics and it's Dave Matthews, I can agree wholeheartedly.
Based on what I know, yeah. Based on what I know. There might be something I'm missing, but based on what I know, he has pretty good. But I know people love it. I get it. I can't
never
get into it.
understood I never
What do you
understood
like,
it.
Jennifer?
It's also like fish, like things like that you're like, what? Who in the world likes these
I don't
things?
get that.
Like, what? I had an ex-boyfriend who's like obsessed with fish, and like every time we'd get in the car, I was like, you're killing me. Like, this is literally killing me. Any sort of love I have for you.
What do you like to listen to? Because I feel like, you're like, well, Smith's not really my bag. You're like, Dave Matthews.
I like the Smiths. I don't like Dave Matthews. No,
all right.
I'm not a Dave Matthews fan.
Well, what is your bag?
I'm not like a huge music consumer, honestly.
All right.
I'm just not. It's not my thing. I'm definitely more of like watching more like performance than like live performance than music.
Okay.
Like comedy or soloists or one person show stuff. Like that's more of like what I'm watching. This is devolved into like the craziest. Like we're like start out about talking about the politics.
It's Music Monday. You gotta mix it up a little bit.
You
it's
didn't
Music
tell
Monday.
Me it was Music Monday.
I thought I mentioned that.
You mentioned
there's nothing to prepare for. There's nothing. Johnny Lydon likes Trump. What are your thoughts? That's what do you prepare for
like
that?
Crap. Those are my thoughts.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you wanna know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and